Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Ask the Captain. So I missed last week, sorry about that. It was last week I missed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So anyways, there's been some things that has happened which I'm going to talk about before actually answering your questions. And they're somehow gaming related, all of the things. First off, who's excited for Battlefield 1? I'm really excited for Battlefield 1, although there's other games which I'm more excited for, like Rising Storm 2, because it's more realistic. But I'll still play Battlefield 1, because it's a return to... Well, it's not a return to, because World War 1 wasn't really a thing, but it's a return to the past rather than the present or future, which I don't like. I'm really more of a fan of quote-unquote historical shooters. So I'm really looking forward to Battlefield 1 in October. I hope it's gonna be fun. It's of course faster paced than what I usually play, since I usually play like Rising Storm and Red Orchestra, which I enjoy. But yeah, Battlefield is still, like, I enjoyed Battlefield 3. Not the best game. I played it like 2-3 years after release. But it was fun to play multiplayer. So I hope Battlefield 1 will be fun as well. But what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to Battlefield 1? Because I am. But fear not, if you came here, there's more things that I wanna mention. But yeah, Battlefield 1, just to finish that one, because I tend to ramble, going back and forwards between topics. I need to improve with that, I admit. But anyways, Battlefield 1, I really like that bolt-action rifles. Bolt-action rifles are my favorite kind of weapon. So that's probably the main reason why I'm excited for Battlefield 1. Because I get to play with my bolt-actions. I love bolt-action rifles. It's just, I like the feel of them. If they're done correctly. Anyways, Battlefield isn't the only thing that's happened in the last 2 weeks. Next thing. And you, strategy game players, might love this one. It's a turn-based game. It was announced yesterday? Which would... Thursday, so 2 days ago. I'm recording this on Friday because I'm slow with these videos. It always takes like at least 24 hours for me to get it done. But anyways... Civilization 6. The best thing. They're going to shorten the amount of time multiplayer takes. Since that's the biggest problem of the multiplayer. Civ 5 multiplayer is like, you start a multiplayer game, 10 hours later, you're still playing. So, and I'm really looking forward to Civilization 6. I couldn't really get... I'm not into Beyond Earth. The biggest reason is that it doesn't have the historical factor, which is a big one for me. So that stopped me from playing Beyond Earth, really. And I haven't heard that it's particularly good. But I'm looking forward to Civilization 6, and I hope they do some good things with, especially the diplomacy with AI, since AI is like, you want like one resource and they ask you for like 1,000 gold plus 50 gold per turn and all of your luxuries as well. Like, come on, Civ. Or when you ask them to stop spying and then 5 turns later you have like, this and this civilization has stolen this and this technology from you. But I just asked you to stop spying on me 5 turns ago, you little idiot. 5 turns ago is a bit of an exaggeration, but you get my point. So I'm looking forward to Civ 6, and I hope they do some great improvements. That being said, I'm not too much fan of the graphic style they've gone for this time. I don't mind it, but I think I prefer the Civilization 5 graphic style. What I do like though, and we haven't heard too much about Civilization 6, is the districts thing. Having places focused for like science and others for like farming, agriculture. That's what it's called. I like the sounds of Civilization 6 so far. So, for anyone who's interested in Civilization 6, what do you guys think so far? Do you like the looks of Civilization 6 so far? Tell me in the comments below. And also, don't forget, you can also just ask me questions like usual. It's a Ask the Captain episode after all. Just ask away with your questions, whatever it is. But anyways, so Civilization 6, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they'll do good things with it. And it's probably going to be like Civilization 5, where in the beginning it's shit, but after a couple of expansions it's very good. One thing though, with both Battlefield 1 and Civilization 6, I'm not gonna pre-order. Nope. I've sworn off pre-ordering. I'm not pre-ordering because... one, there's no big good really reason to pre-order. You get some tiny stuff which might be cool, but in the end they don't matter. And what if you get a shitty game? And also, by waiting you can get a game... It's possible to get a game cheaper than if you were to buy it on release. So, you know, I go for the waiting option. Worst case scenario, I just don't get some stuff, like in Battlefield there's some exclusive weapons, skins or something, I believe. I don't care. In the end, it doesn't matter. Like, they might be cool, but what effect does it really have? And if it does have an effect, is it really a game I should be buying? Probably not. So that's really the two games. I'm really looking forward to the games. They're both in October, so in October, the month I have my birthday, I'll have plenty of games to play and get for my birthday. Although they're at the end of October and I have my birthday in the beginning of October, but that's a small little detail. So there's been a couple of cool announcements the last couple of weeks. But the same day that the Battlefield 1 announcement was, something else was announced. Something you computer nerds will enjoy. And this might ring a little bell. 1080. NVIDIA. GTX 1080. And 1070 for that matter. I'm not going to say any details since I'm not sure on them. And there's also a bit scarce since they haven't released too much. But like 20 to 30% improvement over Titan X for the GTX 1080 at less power. 8 gigabytes of GDDR5X RAM. That doesn't look bad. Less power. Did I say less power? Either way, less power, that's good as well. And at what? $700 was it for the Founders Edition? And I'm going to use the Founders Edition price since that's reference. I don't know if any AIB partners will actually go below the Founder Edition price or not. We'll see on the 27th, I believe, when they release. But it's looking good with the double node ramp, architecture changes. One thing which I'm questioning though is whether the GTX 1080 will have hardware schedulers for async compute like AMD has with their GCN architecture since... Well, with Maxwell, NVIDIA doesn't even have software support implemented yet. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially when AMD puts out their competitor to Pascal, which they'll put at low end. Low end will apparently be announced on the 18th with Polaris, which will be around... It's rumored... There's two rumors with it. It's rumored to be 390X performance for $200, or 980T, so GTX 980 Ti performance for $300. I hope it's the 980 Ti performance for $300, so it competes with the GTX 1070. And then of course Vega is rumored to be released either in October or at the beginning of 2017. And it's going to be interesting to see how the two architectures stack up AMD, of course, aren't using the TSMC 16 nanometer, but rather Global Foundries 14 nanometer, which they licensed from Samsung. And of course we have AMD Zen, but we haven't heard much about AMD Zen, so I won't talk about that. But either way, graphics this year is going to be looking good. I won't be buying any of it since I'm happy with my R9 Nano. I'm not playing a game really which needs the extra horsepower, I guess, and I'm playing at 1080p. Like, I'm not getting 60 FPS in naval action, I admit, but that's not because of the graphics card, that's because of the processor, which I will hopefully be updating. Oh wow, that Connie has done a lot of work on me. We'll pop one broadside into you and then we'll start another one. So yeah, some awesome news the last couple of weeks. I'm excited for 2016 at least, coming forward. Especially May. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing the GTX 1080 reviews and the Polaris. 18th of May, I believe it is. It's rumored. No, I think AMD confirmed it. 18th of May, we're gonna hear more about Polaris. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to it. So we'll see what AMD will bring to the table. I hope it's GTX 980 Ti performance at $300, because that would be amazing. Just the price is extreme. Like, this 1070 is what, $399 or $450 for Founders Editions? I can't remember. Sorry for being poor in details. And that's Titan X performance. Titan X retails for $1,000 now. Or if you want to go with 980 Ti, which you can overclock to Titan X levels, that's $600 roughly. Holy shit, that's good deal. So it's looking good. So if you're interested in buying a graphics card now, wait till Polaris launches, and Pascal for that matter, and you can get a good deal. You can get an amazing deal. Like, my graphics card was like the equal of $500, and that performs around the GTX 980 Ti level, due to overclock and what's it called? Due to overclock. So that's pretty good. That's some really good prices. But anyways, I've talked about other stuff. I'm really excited for the coming month hardware wise, since there's some cool shit coming out. And October is going to be good for games. Battlefield 1 and Civilization 6. Something I'm definitely looking forward to. So yeah, well, I've spent a quarter of an hour now babbling about other stuff than answering the questions. Time to answer your questions. So don't forget to ask about more. Also, on that topic, who are you rooting for? Who are you more excited for? AMD or AMD Polaris and Vega, or Nvidia Pascal? Share your opinion in the comment section. If you care. If you don't care, just you can comment on the other two games or ask me a question, whatever. Anyways, Dind asks, what do you think is the worst decision the devs have made so far? Surely you must disagree with something. Timeline of 1670 to 1830 hard limit. Move it 5 years earlier, from 1665 to 1830, so that we can have the safer Provincian in the game. I think that's the worst decision in my opinion, because the safer Provincian by 5 years. 5 years. Like, and it's such a beautiful ship, and if that was added in the game, I assure you I probably would sell nothing but that thing. But 5 years. It can't come in. And it's such a shame, because it's such a good ship. Good looking ship. I don't know if it's a good sailor or if it's good at combat ship, since Compared to, say, the Bologna, I believe the Bologna would have quite a bit heavier broadside, but still, it's a beautiful ship, and everybody knows how I care about the beauty of a ship. Like, I have a hard-on for the Ingemanland because it's a beautiful ship. So, that's, in my opinion, the biggest mistake. We're talking about 5 years. Sorry, I just bumped into my mic. I don't know if you could hear that. But 5 years. But oh well. What can we do? Anyways. 5 years. Come on, Game Labs, please. I want to save in Provinciën. It's such a shame because it's the most iconic ship of the Dutch Navy. But it's not in by 5 years. It's such a shame. Oh well. Also, I'm sailing the Bologna here just so that I don't sail the Ingemanland all the time in these videos. Anyways. Next question. Samu Games YouTube asks, or YT asks, do you think that they will add more factions to Naval Action? Possibly after release, like after they've done the all the features, I could see them adding like Europe and adding more factions or expanding the map or something like that. This isn't anything official or anything, but I could see that happening on release. But that's still quite ways off, so I wouldn't hold your hopes up for something like that. Next question, which is actually a bunch of questions by David Goff, is: do you think dynamic resource prices in NPC ports should be reintroduced? Short and simple, yes. Do you know anything about the soon-to-be reworked port battles, and what would you like to see? Because I'm lazy, I'm not going to bother going through that, but there's a forum post the devs made on the forums. Granted, I believe this question was asked before that forum post was said. But regarding port battles, after a certain disaster happened, which I'm not going to mention specifics or anything, I'm done with port battles. And finally, what are your thoughts on mixed cannon carronades on frigates and souls? Ships of the line does. IRL most had carronades on the top decks, but I don't see that a lot in naval action. For some frigates, like the Constitution, it's stupid not to use carronades, in my opinion. But I can see the validity of still using longs or mediums. On ships of the line, considering you can only mount carronades on weather deck. Fuck yeah. Go all out on those carronades. On my Santissima, I've got carronades on the top deck, those 42 pounders. That's a huge difference compared to 9 pounders. I believe it just about, like, it increases the broadside weight by a huge amount. Like 42 times 15, that's like, let's see, that's like 700 pounds. That's a lot. 700 pounds versus like 9 pounders would be, I don't know, 150 pounds. So that's like 500 pounds additional over what it would be with 9 pounders. So that's a huge difference. On frigates though, and I could see an argument made for going all longs or mediums. But I would still say that on certain ships, like, actually, I think that on all ships there is an argument to be made for both, except on ships of the line. But on all frigates, it's an argument for both, since it adds a lot of potential firepower at short range, but at long range you kind of don't lose, you don't have that extra firepower. But then again, most engagements, in my experience, end up being close range anyways. So go for it, I would say. They can keep you at a distance for a certain amount of time, but at a certain point you end up close, in my experience anyways. Unless of course you're talking about a skilled captain, but like a captain who really is good at keeping you at distance. But I don't find that a lot of people keep you at distance. So I would say mixed, go for it. Especially on ships of the line. Like, ironically, I'm not using carronades on the top decks now. But that's because this is a captured one, so I'm just using the loadout which it came with, which is mediums on all the decks, longs in chasers, and 68-pound carronade sterns. So yeah, this has been another episode of Ask the Captain. If you've got any opinions on Civ 6, Battlefield 1, Polaris, or Pascal from AMD and NVIDIA graphics card, feel free to share in the comments. If you've got any questions, go ahead, ask. I'll answer them next time. Whenever next time is, I don't know. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice here. This has been a tiring talk session. Anyways, bye.